So what I would like for you to do, the good news is they don't know the question I'm going to ask. And I'm going to ask the question and filibuster for about 10 seconds, and then we're going to start down the line. So here's your question. And about halfway through, I'll reframe the question for those of you who forgot. You know, Gersh down on this end, he might not be able to tell from the earlier answers what the question was. What do you see as the biggest technology change that will affect us in the next 5 years? See, today we've been kind of looking at information flow. You know, in 1969 we thought we'd be walking on Mars by now. Didn't quite make that. So technology's going to change. I'm not sure Moore's law is going to hold forever. You know, we're not going to have that, you know, doubling the speed every 18 months. But technology will change. And so for all of us here on the government side who are depending on technology, what do you think it's going to, where's it going to go? How's it going to be different? What new things are going to be added? Or how are we, and I'll provide the semicolon, how might we be using technology in new and novel ways that already exist? So, Royal, you get to be first.
Well, the biggest technology change, I'm not sure it's a big change, maybe it's just a hope of mine, and that is that we continue to move toward much more open and interconnected systems. So, you know, we have open systems components now that allow some kind of plug and play like capabilities for whether they're sensors or data services or other kinds of things, but they still require a lot of work. And I guess I'm thinking, and I'm seeing the barriers finally breaking down so that proprietary sort of stovepipe-like solutions are starting to fade, and more data-rich kind of solutions are available because you can plug together all kinds of things yourself and make them run. So I think that's going to be the biggest kind of continuing change. It just hasn't quite overcome everybody. It still requires a lot of work.
Okay. We'll hold that one. Bill, what do you think?
I think, you know, from our perspective, a couple areas. One is cybersecurity. I think security systems will improve over time. We encounter, you know, a lot of resistance from what we do. Everybody says, you know, when you see the amount of detail we provide on a building, how do you secure that data? And so how do you keep it, you know, for good and not for bad? So I think the evolution of cybersecurity going on, and then also the size of the wireless bandwidth that's going on too, increasing bandwidth into response vehicles. That's increasing. I think that'll enable a lot more information right to the user.
Okay. Tom, what do you think?
Simply put, the detection technologies that are available today, by and large, do not work. So no matter what sensors you have or what interlocking communication you have, unless your raw data is there that you can rely on, it doesn't mean much. The other side of it, after detection and improvement in detection technologies, is a specific bandwidth that is active during an emergency, because the FBI and others shut down phones and standard transmissions to a point that it becomes inoperable. So those two areas is what we need to improve.
All right, Joel, what do you think?
I think the next revolution that I see coming is related to cell phones. I think we haven't even scratched the surface of what mobile devices are going to do for the way we interact with each other, interact with existing technology. Back in 1995, everybody was talking about how the internet had changed the world. We know now it hadn't gotten started yet. We can certainly say cell phones have changed our lives, but I don't think we've gotten started yet. I think the new Moore's law is every 18 months you can do twice as much as you could last year on your cell phone, and I think that's going to continue. And you know, certainly if you ask any student on this campus what their friends are doing, if they haven't talked to them in the last 15 seconds, they could find out really quickly through text or chat or on the cell phone. And I don't think we're doing that in business and government industries. as much as you see it on the social scene. So I think that's what's coming, and mobile bandwidth will be the the next thing we'll see increasing.
Okay, Jack?
I think one of the things that's going to be difficult to keep up with is we're gaining the ability to collect data exponentially faster and to access data faster and faster, but our ability to process it isn't keeping up.
Okay.
And unless we can start to speed the processing, we're just going to be unable to access everything that we can collect.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Joel probably took a line out of my book. It's essentially focusing on handheld mobile technologies, and the exponential growth and the usage of those and the information sharing between them is really where I see where all this is going. It's the transparency and the hierarchy of how we've got systems structured now just is not going to exist, because it does not allow for you to scale at the rate for the data that is being collected to do it. So if anything, it's going to be the flattening of these hierarchies of information flow, and everything's going to be more of a network-based approach as opposed to stovepiping of information in various channels. You can see from a lot of what was been discussed today is everyone's trying to get stuff to interoperate, and that's because of a bad design from the beginning. And so by everything now being started on a much more network-based approach and a flat approach to things, I think that's the cellular technology and mobile technology is going to aid in the information sharing by flattening those links between individuals and technology.
Okay, Gersh?
Wow, I get to have the last word.
Not really, but...
Let me start with a quotation. In 1899, the head of the U.S. Patent Office famously said, "Everything that can be invented has been invented." Wow. The point is, it's very hard to predict what's going to happen in technology, but I'll take two things that I believe are going to be the frontier. One is artificial intelligence, and the second is artificial life. I think in the next 5 years, the continuing increase in computer power is going to allow us to derive more meaning from all these great masses of sensor data and information that's flowing around the network. So I think we're going to see more solid programs that do some of our thinking for us, not all of our thinking for us. Now, what's going to happen with the revolution in artificial life, I don't know, tell you the truth, how that's going to intersect with the things that we're interested in, but I believe that it's going to have effects that we can't anticipate right now. Thank you.